Hello, Gary Simon here of DesignCourse.com. Today we're going to be covering a new piece of software, relatively new, called Pixate, and it is 100% free for both Mac and Windows. What it does is helps basically bridge the gap between app designers and app developers. So traditionally in the past, basically you were forced to, if you were a designer, present a series of app activity and screen mock-ups to the developer and you would describe what they would do. Or if you had enough time, you would step into something like Adobe After Effects and kind of do the animations yourself, which takes a lot of time. So what this allows you to do as a designer is take your app mock-up and piece it together in this app called Pixate and basically add interactions and animations, basically allowing you to use the app right on your phone and see exactly how it animates, how you intend for it to animate, okay? So basically in this video, we're just going to do the mock-up in Adobe Photoshop. You could follow along in other apps if you're more familiar, like Illustrator or Sketch. And then the next video will wrap up by working solely in Pixate. All right, subscribe here if you haven't yet, and let's get started.
Okay, so here in Photoshop, let's go to File, New. And right now, before we can specify the width and height and all that, we need to first step into Pixate. And I'm going to do that. And you just want to make sure you go to File, New to start a new project right here. And you'll be presented with this. So you can specify the name here. And then this is the important part, select its target device. So if you're currently working with, an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus or any of these listed here, you can specify that and it will automatically specify, or set up the project with the dimensions that are consistent with that phone. For me, I have a Samsung Note 5, which I just purchased, and it's not listed here as an option. So if that's the case for you, you have something that's not listed here, you go to Google, just find out what the resolution is. Mine happens to be 1440 width by 2560 height. And you can see we have at 2x, at 3x on some of these. Basically, these are in points. So all I did was I took mine, I divided it by 3, and I came up with down here 480 by 853 with the factor, the density here of 3. So add prototype and you'll be ready to go here, although we're not going to be doing anything in Pixate just yet. We want to design everything first. So what I can do in here is I can just specify the dimension in pixels, which is 1440 width by 2560 height, resolution 72, yada, yada, everything else is good here. So hit OK. And it's showing up off screen for a second. And there we go. So for the very first screen, of course, this is for a fictional project that I just really wanted to experiment with, this app itself as opposed to coming up with some sort of elaborate project. So this is simple. It's just going to be allowing people to sort through pieces of food or whatever. They can click it and it'll bring up a sort of UI with more options. Also a menu. We'll show how the menu interacts or works when you click on it. So let's go to get started. So for the first thing we'll worry about is just a background. What I'll do here is just use the rectangle tool, just make something larger than the canvas size slightly. And I'm going to double click on it to bring up the gradient overlay. And by default, it already has what I'm going to use in the gradient just because it remembered it. But if you want the specific color codes to match up, it's 7D648A. And the second one over here is 78A2C2. Although you can use whatever you want, no big deal. And we'll hit OK. All right, so now we'll go ahead and just get a type-based word mark for the logo. I'm going to hit Control-H to get rid of the outlines there. And just left-click with the Type tool. And I'm just going to call this Food Z, Z-E-E. Control-T, hold Shift, scale that up. Yeah, somewhere right around there is pretty good, which happens to be right around 75 points. I'll make that even. And get this lined up a little bit better. And then we'll get a menu as well. We'll try to get it to match the height here of the type. So we'll use, once again, the rectangle tool. And I'll simply left-click and drag right around here. Change it to white as well. And duplicate that, right-click, duplicate layer, bring it down a bit, right-click, duplicate layer. I have a shortcut set up for that automatically, so I suggest you guys do that too. and get that even out as much as possible. I think that's even right there. Take these three, holding shift by selecting all, hit Control E to merge. All right, and we'll just call this menu real quick, and hit Control 1, zoom out a little bit more, and we'll move this over here by holding shift. Right around there is pretty good. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. If yours looks something similar, good. Now, underneath this, the Foodsie and this menu right here, we're going to take the rectangle tool, left click, drag out, and let's see here. Yeah, something like right around there is good. Double click on the thumbnail here to change the color. We'll color drop or get the color picker right around here, and then just make it slightly darker, which is 617 F9B. All right. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put our whatever piece of food that we're featuring. And so I have images.google.com here. I typed in lettuce, and we're in the search tools, usage rights, label for use with modification, and we want a size that's fairly large. And I'm going to put in white background. That's really strange. I found something before. 1 second. There we go. I had to change this to large instead of real large. And the one I want right here is right here. So I'm just going to take this, right click, copy image, and paste this. And then what we'll do is use the magic eraser tool. Just left click once, gets rid of that. Hit Control T, scale this down a bit, maybe roughly like right around here. And select move tool to apply. All right, we'll take the type tool here. Let me get rid of that. And I'm going to left click from the very left edge to the very right. And we'll make sure it's centered. And I'm going to type in lettuce, all caps locked. And I'm using a color here for the foreground, which is, I don't want that to be black. 1 second. We'll make this kind of just color pick that blue color up there. And we'll come around 1D. Or no, 1B, 1D, 1F. And again, you don't have to use these exact color codes. And we'll move this down right around here will be good. Then I'm going to hit Control-Shift-N for a new layer. And then we're going to take the brush tool, make sure it's a large, around 464, feathered hardness is 0 brush. And then left-click with black selected with your foreground just once. Hit Control-T. Hold Alt and scale it down or in, and hit apply, and we'll take the opacity down right around 32%. All right, and we'll just call this shadow real quick, and then create a new layer right beneath everything on top of this background layer, and we'll take the rectangular marquee tool, select an area roughly right around there. We'll take the gradient tool with the foreground to transparent preset selected, and we'll stay at black. All right, right around there. Control D to deselect, and we're bringing down the opacity right around 14%, and then right click and duplicate the layer. Hit Control T and move down right around there. Select move tool to apply, and let's make sure that this is there. Perfect. Take these, both layers, hit Control E to merge them. And then what we want to do is take it and move it up, maybe right around there. Kind of just creates a sort of as if there's a wall back here and this is the floor or whatever. You don't have to do that. It's just something I'm choosing to do. And there we go. That is it for that. This is basically going to be the initial activity or the screen that you see once the design loads up in Pixate. All right, so let's go ahead and we want to save this. So I'm just going to call it mockups. And let's switch by left click over here and choose the Artboard tool. And just a note, if you don't have Adobe Photoshop CC 2015, you won't have access to this Artboard tool because it's new. If that's the case, just go to File, New, and just repeat what we're about to do, or just go to File, Save As, and save this again as a new file. That way you have the whole design here to work with. So we're just going to use the Artboard Tool, 1440 by 2560 right here. We'll go ahead and click on this, and then we'll left click right here. All right. And what I'll do real quickly is I'm going to create, well, yeah, I'm just going to leave that right there. All right. So what we want to do is take a few of these got shoved into this artboard right here, and some of them, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to take this and just put it at the very bottom. We have this layer 0 that's automatically there. What we want to do is take all this stuff and just put it into there, and then we'll move it over with all of them selected. All right, so the Foodsy, I'm going to move this over. I should have initially, when I started, made this a artboard by default when we created the document, but that's no big deal. All right, so everything now is inside of this artboard. Now we just want to replicate this. I'm going to name this here, we'll just call this screen 1. And we'll go ahead and click this over here. Actually, instead of doing that, we'll go ahead, right click and hit duplicate artboard. Hit OK. All right, switch to the move tool. So now we can create the screen that's going to show up and exactly what this will look like when this is clicked right here, this image. So now what we want to do is I'll go ahead and take this guy and this as well. So I'm holding Control and then holding Shift as well to select both of them. And we're going to, oh, another thing I should do is take the shadow as well. We'll move them up. Yeah, right around there. Now I'm also going to be scaling it, Control T, roughly right around there by 20%. And we'll do that in Pixate. And then what I want to do is take the rectangle tool right here, and I'm just going to left click and drag just a container beneath it. All right. Now I want to give this a specific color here, so I'm going to paste in 24252B. All right, and then basically, yeah, this is going to slide up, and we're going to put some information in there specific to, you know, whatever's up here. So I'm going to left click and drag out, make sure that's centered. I'm going to put in just 10 calories. We're going to give this a color. I think they're just going to use this up here. Hit OK. I'm going to use Railway Light for this. And I'm going to put in 1 cup for the serving size, you know, whatever. And then we'll make this slightly less contrast. All right, hit OK. And then we'll go ahead and duplicate that layer. Drag it down, and you can put just some lorem ipsum text if you wish. I already have some text off screen that I'm just going to paste into there. And I don't want this to go all the way out. I actually want some white space in there. All right, move right around there. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. No, I don't want that. There we go. Okay, that's good. And then what I want to do is put kind of just like a little bar graph sort of thing that indicates how many macronutrients like carbs, proteins, or fat that this thing is made up of, this piece of lettuce or whatever. So to do that real quick, I'll take the rounded rectangle tool, make sure we have a large radius up here so the corners are completely rounded. And I'll just left click and drag out right around there. And for our initial color, we'll go ahead and just choose like a lime green, something real bright. And then I'm going to hit Control Shift N for a new layer. 1 second. It's showing up off of another monitor. There we go. Make sure clipping mask is selected right here. Hit OK. And we'll go ahead and take just a rectangle tool. And we'll click right around here. Let's see here. And this one will change to kind of Yeah, blue right around there. Hit OK. And then we'll go ahead and just, not duplicate, sorry. Right click and duplicate layer. And I hate when it does that. Right click, create clipping mask. There we go. This one's color is going to be just like something like, yeah, right there is fine. Right around there. All right. And then let's put real quickly, don't worry, we're just about done with this. I'm going to put in carbs here. And this will be the same color as this. We'll make this bold. All right, we will duplicate that layer. This over here, we'll put in fats, or no, protein. And then finally, we'll duplicate, okay, put this over here, and this will be fat. Again, this color will be here, and protein will match this as well. And then real quickly, just to make it kind of stand out even more so, I'm going to go ahead and take the rounded rectangle tool again. I'm going to left click right around here, up to around there, make it white, and then change the layer blend mode to overlay. Cool. All right, so I'm going to take all that right here, group that up. Let's go ahead and move it down, get these things a little bit more situated evenly. Yeah, something like that. That'll work. All right. That's good. So real quickly, let's go ahead and take the Artboard tool one more time. Let's go ahead and we'll just call this one info. And then we'll right click, hit duplicate artboard. We'll just call this menu. All right. Now for menu, we can just basically take everything and hit Control E just to merge it all down. And then we'll take this color here, maybe something slightly darker. Hit OK. Take the rectangle tool. And this over here, of course, is going to be for the menu when somebody clicks on the hamburger icon. So 1 second. All right, so for the menu, we'll just have some Control H there twice. Just text right here, it says menu. Make that white. Make it black, I think. There we go. Make it a little bit larger, Control T. We'll duplicate this. Drag it down. This one will be light. And this will say my account. Make it bigger. Right around there will work. And this will be database. I'm just going to make some fake links here. Support and community. All right. And then we want to get out our character or go to window character. And let's try to experiment with pushing these down. Yeah, let's try like 120. Nope, more than that. So we'll try 140. All right, Gary, stop being a pansy. 200. There we go. Take this menu. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. This is standing out. I don't know. I think that's, yeah. Right around there is good. Hit OK. And that is it. So real quickly, before we consider this completely done, what we'll do is I'm going to get another piece of food just so we can show two different things switching back and forth. And so I found this strawberry. We'll hit copy image real quick. And what we'll do is take this and this. We'll go ahead and just duplicate that. Hide the ones beneath it. This right here we can delete. We'll go ahead and paste and magic eraser for the background tool. Here we go. Take this, scale it down just a little bit, right around there. And if you want to make some image adjustments, you can do so. I think I'm going to take down the brightness slightly, maybe increase the contrast, and hit OK. All right, and so this one will be called, oh shit, 1 second. Where's that lettuce showing up? Okay, and then we'll just name this a strawberry. Okay, all right, so that's good. So now this is, let me zoom out a little bit. This is basically our mock-up right here, our mock-up flow. So we have the initial one right here. This one shows what happens when somebody clicks on the food. And then this what happens when somebody clicks on this hamburger icon menu right there. Okay, so in the next lesson, we'll go ahead and probably wrap it all up by exporting these necessary assets, and then we'll hop into Pixate to make all of this a reality, and we'll preview on the phone. All right, see ya.